What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to show you guys how to use Rclone with Google Drive in Linux. So first off, there is no official Linux client for Google Drive. And I know that a lot of people want to use their cloud space to save different files and folders and all that stuff, and you want to have a way to link that to your system. Just like you do in Windows, they have applications that are built for the operating system where you can connect to those files and manipulate those files if you need to. But since they don't have a lot of those applications for Linux, there is a command line utility that you can actually use to connect to and manage your Google Drive. You can also use OneDrive on it, and it's about 50 other cloud platforms that you can connect to using this application. So the first thing I want to do is go to their website, just show you guys a little bit about it. So just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. So I have their website up, and it's rclone.org. And this utility has been around for a while now. Let me go on and read a little bit about it so you guys can get an understanding of what it's about and how to use it. So up here at the top it says Rclone syncs your files to cloud storage. So I'll just read a little bit about the about section. Rclone is a command line program to manage files on cloud storage. It is a feature-rich alternative to cloud vendor web storage interfaces. Over 40 cloud storage products support Rclone, including S3, object stores, business, and consumer file storage services, as well as standard transfer protocol. Rsync has powerful cloud equivalents to the Unix commands like Rsync, copy, move, mount, ls, ncdu, tree, remove, and cat. Rclone's familiar syntax includes shell pipeline support and a dry run protection. It is used as the command line in scripts or via its API. And right here, this is the main sentence I wanted to, point out to you guys. It says users call Rclone the Swiss Army knife of cloud storage. So it's a pretty good application, man. If you don't, because a lot of these cloud programs, they kind of cater to Windows and Mac OS as far as their applications that you can install on the system, so you can manage your cloud storage. Well, Rclone will handle all that for you. And I'll take you through the process now, just showing you guys how to set up Google Drive. I'm going to use Google Drive for this demonstration because I don't have a OneDrive account. I have an extra, Google Drive account that's sitting around that I can use to show you guys how to set it up. So let's get started. Okay, cool guys. So I have my virtual machine up and running. This is a Ubuntu spinoff called Ubuntu. This is 20.04. It's basically a spinoff of Ubuntu using the XFCE desktop. So I just wanted to highlight that so you guys would know what operating system I'm using. I think I used it in my last video when I did the Rsync command. But Ubuntu is a pretty good operating system. Like I said, if you like Ubuntu, you'll like Ubuntu. So let's go down and open up the terminal so we can go down and install Rclone right fast. So I'm gonna zoom in on the terminal so you guys can see what I'm typing. And cool. So the first thing you want to do is actually update the system. So let's type sudo apt update and press enter. Type in your sudo password, and this will, refresh the repositories and all that stuff. And once this is finished, if there are any updates, then we can update the system at that point. And as you can see, there's no updates. I think I updated this system the other day when I did the Rsync command video. So it's up to date. So we can go on and install. So let's clear the screen. And the command to install it on Ubuntu or Debian based systems is sudo apt install Rclone, and it's in the main repositories. You don't have to add any PPAs or anything like that. You can just install it this way. And also you can install it on Arch-based distributions. So if you're using Manjaro or regular Arch, then it's just sudo pacman -S then Rclone. It's in the main repository. So let's go down and install it right fast. And it's a very small application. It's all command line based, so you know everything can be ran from the command line. So it's it's a small application, so it shouldn't take too long to install. And we are done. So let's go down and clear the screen again. And the first thing you want to do when installing Rclone, since this is a new system, you never had Rclone on here before, you want to configure it. And it's a very simple command to configure it, and that is Rclone space config. So let's type that in right now. So Rclone space config and press enter, and we'll step through each of the questions that it asks. It's pretty simple. All you gotta do is follow it. It's a new remote connection, so you want to put N for new. It's very simple, and now you want to name it. So I'm gonna name mine G Drive, because this is my Google Drive, so short for Google Drive. So let's press enter on that. And now this is where you want to select the storage type. And so if you scroll up, you can see all the main storage types that they have. So you can go, Amazon Drive, Amazon S3, Backblaze. Some of these I don't know. Box, never heard of that one. Cache on a remote cache, I don't know what that is. Citrix share file, Dropbox, which is one that a lot of people know. It could be a FTP connection, Google Cloud Storage, and they specify right here this is not Google Drive, so make sure you don't select that one. I already know which one it is. It's 13 for Google Drive. They even have Google Photos, so if you want to set up a photo directory on your system, then just select Google Photos, and that'll sync all your Google Photos down to your system. But we're going to use Google Drive. I just wanted to show you guys a few of them that are on here. And also I think I seen OneDrive. Yeah, here it is, Microsoft OneDrive. So if you want to use OneDrive, that's there as well. So we are going to select 13, which is for Google Drive. So all you got to do is type in the number 13, and that'll select Google Drive. And it'll copy basically the configurations for Google Drive to your system. And then we can go through and configure it. Right here, I don't care about the client ID. I'm going to leave that blank because I'm going to connect to it via the web browser. And it'll download the keys and all that stuff. And it'll make things a little quicker. So I just pressed enter there just to skip the client secret. And then right here it says scope that Rclone should use when requesting access to the drive. And what you want to do is select 1 for full access. That's the normal one. Now if you want it to be read only, 2, and then 3, there is these are visible in the drive website. So I'm not sure what that actually means, to be honest, but 1 works perfectly. So I'm gonna type 1. That's full access, so you got rewrite access, all that good stuff. Now here is the next thing we want to fill in, and actually you don't want to fill in anything here. It says fill in access computer folder. Don't worry about that. We could just skip this right now. And this right here, it says leave blank normally, needed only if you want to use SA instead. We're going to skip that as well, so let's press enter. And then right here it says edit advanced configuration. I don't want to edit the advanced configuration. I want to keep things simple. So I'm gonna just type in for no, just to go past that step. Now this is where you want to actually configure it to your account. So if we type Y for yes, this will actually pop up with the auto configuration for it. So let me show you guys that right fast. So if we type Y for yes, boom, you'll see it's going through and it's going to open up your default browser. You'll see it pop up in a second, but it'll actually go straight to the Google Drive login page. And so all you gotta do is log into the account, and it'll copy down your connection keys and your authentication keys. So if we type, I'm gonna type in my KeepItTechie email account and press enter, and then type in my password, boom, and press enter. And basically what you're doing is allowing Rclone to have access. So it says it'll see, edit, change, create, all the good stuff, you're giving it access to your Google account. So if you're worried about that, you know what I'm saying, then don't do this. But it's just another application you're giving access to your Google Drive. You want to make sure, you know, you read this stuff just to make sure your privacy is not being jeopardized. But based on the documentation I read about Rclone, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't share any of your information and all that good stuff. So let's just press allow here, and it'll pop up with this page basically saying success, all done, please go back to Rclone. So if we close that, it moved on to the next step. So the next question is configure this as a team drive, and I don't want to configure it as a team drive. That may be cool for people that are working on a similar project together, and just to have a centralized location of where the files are stored for the application or whatever you're building or working on. Then that's a good idea to do. You know, type yes on, but I'm gonna type no or in for no. And here we go. That's what I was talking about, the access tokens and all that stuff. This the expired, and it's that, like I said, the access token and all that good stuff. So you don't have to worry about this. This is good to go. So the first option says yes, this is okay. So we just type Y and press enter. And as you can see, that remote connection has been created for Rclone, or that configuration has been created for Rclone. And this information, the tokens, all that stuff will be stored on your system locally. And I'm going to delete this after this. I'm going to delete this actual account after this. So I don't care if you guys see this, but whatever, that's the access token or whatever. So we're basically done with configuring the actual connection to the drive. So let's go on and quit the configuration since we're done. So you just type Q, which is the last option down there. It says quit config, and press enter, and that'll drop us back down to the command line. So let's clear this right fast. And now the next thing you want to do is actually create a mount point. Now, what I typically do is just create a mount point under my home directory. So we could just basically make directory, or run the command make directory, and let's specify something in our home directory. I'm gonna create a folder called G drive, just like the actual connection that we created. So let's press enter there, and we have that folder there. So that'll be our mount point. Now let's go on and show you guys how to actually connect to the drive, or actually mount the Google Drive to your system. And it's a simple command. It's basically Rclone, and what I use is dash VFS dash cache dash, and actually it's 2 dashes, so I apologize for that, but dash VFS virtual file system, and then dash cache mode, and write. So we want to put writes in there, and then mount. And then we want to specify that actual drive that we have, or that connection that we have. So G drive, I want to specify it. And that's why I named it the same thing, so I can quickly remember it. And then you want to put a colon after that, and then space, you want to specify the mount point. So if we type, let's go on and put the tilde in there, and then / G drive, and press enter. This will actually connect to, or this will actually mount that drive to your system. So if we press enter here, and it's not going to give you any feedback once you press enter, that's because it's actually running. It's mounted though, and that connection stays open. So if we open up the file system right fast, and if you look right here, you have a drive mounted. It's G drive. So that drive is there. It says 15 gigabytes free. That's the size of a typical Google Drive. So if we go into it, and actually we can just go to our home directory right fast, but you'll see that folder here. So if we double click on that, you'll see we're in that Google Drive, and you can see the, you know, the size of the drive actually changed. So if we go back up here and select, see that's 18 drives. That's the virtual hard drive in the virtual system, or the VM. But if we go in here, you'll see we have 15 gigabytes of free space. That is the space on your Google Drive. Now, one thing I want to do is show you guys that this is actually working. So if because you can't really tell that it's working right now because it's just, it's just an empty drive. So one thing I want to do is go to my Google Drive. So let's type Google Drive, type that in, and let's go to where is it? Yeah, Google.drive. There we go. And so go to Drive. Yeah, and it's drive.google.com. Okay, cool. And actually, it's going to show as connected because we're connected. So it's automatically going to log in since we, connected via this system. But just to, show you guys that it actually works, I'm going to go down and upload some stuff there. So let's go to the file manager again. And let's open up this directory that I was working on for the Rsync command, and I want to copy a couple of these files and folders. So let's copy this up to the drive. So this is the Google Drive. Let's press paste. So this will copy those files and folders over to this Google Drive account. And as soon as you copy all this stuff over, you will have access to this stuff to the cloud. It'll sync up to the cloud. You know what I'm saying? While this thing is running. And so let's go on waiting for this to finish right fast. And then we'll go up and check the drive on actual Google's site. Okay, cool. So we have those files on the Google Drive. Now, if we go up to Google Drive right now by opening up the web browser, you know what I'm saying? You can see those files up there. Now, let's just type drive.google.com, and this will open up our drive. And since we already connected to it because of the connection that we created using Rclone, so that's why we're still logged into it, and that's why it popped up right away. But anyway, as you can see, all those files and folders went up to the site, so that lets you know that it's actually working. And if we close this right fast, and let's go down and close out these folders right fast. And the next thing I want to do is show you guys how to auto mount this on boot up, or actually on login. So once you log into your account on the system, then it will automatically connect this Google Drive to your system. So if we press Control-C, that'll actually stop the connection. Now, one thing I want to do is grab this. I want to grab this command, and wish I hadn't went all the way up there, but boom. So if we copy this command, I want to show you how to actually, add it to your startup. So if we hit the start menu, and this will work on, all versions of Ubuntu. So they do have a startup option in the regular Ubuntu using the GNOME desktop. So, all you gotta do is go in there. It just may look a little different. But what you want to do is click on the application auto store and just hit add. And then let's go and type in a name for it. So Google Drive. And then let's say auto-mount Google, or actually let's just do G Drive using Rclone. Boom. So that's our description. I just wanted to put a little description in here. And one thing you want to do is just go down and paste that command. That's why I went on and copied it. And you want to put the command in quotes. And I'll show you what to type in front of it. You actually type sh-c space. And that'll allow it to auto mount based on the trigger that you set. And what I'm going to use is on log on. They have even on log out, which there's no reason to actually do that, but on shutdown, on restart, on suspend, hibernate, it's just different options. But on log in works the best because you want things to, happen as soon as you log in or whatever on the system. So if we press OK here, you can scroll down and actually see the startup one that we created. So Google Drive, Automount G Drive, that's the information I put there, so on login. So if we close this, we're good to go. And if we actually open up the file system again, you'll see that G Drive is not mounted anymore, because currently it's set to where you have to run the command and actually mount the drive. So if we close this right fast and reboot the system. So I'm gonna reboot the system right fast, and we'll wait for it to come back up. But as soon as it comes back up and we log into the system, you should have that G drive installed on your system or mounted on your system, and it'll stay mounted as long as you logged in, unless something happens, the system crash. But the command is actually running in the background. So let's just give it a couple seconds for the system to come back up, and then we should see, you know, that drive mounted. So I'll skip past this. Okay, cool. So the system is back up. Let me go down and log back in right fast so you guys can see that that drive is mounted. And sorry, this thing is a little slow. Like I said, it's a virtual machine. So virtual machines, you know, tend to run a little slow, especially virtual bots for whatever reason. Over the last couple of years, I've been having issues with it running a little slow. But anyway, if we open up the file system, we'll see that the G drive is mounted. So that's all we had to do in order to start that drive up. And you can click here and it'll open up the G drive, and it's taking a minute. Or you can, you know, go to your home drive and actually double click on G drive, and that'll open it up as well. Boom. And just to show you guys that it actually works, so let's say we want to delete this file. So we should be able to move to trash, and that'll delete it off of your Google Drive as well. So we want to delete it permanently because it's not going to actually move it to the trash because this is on a remote server. So let's just hit yes. And they'll actually delete that file for us. And as you can see, we have 7 files here. So if we go up to our Google Drive again, so let's type internet or click on internet, that'll open up our web browser. And let's move this over and actually go to the Google Drive, and we should see that that file is removed. So let's actually make it big so you guys can see. And it may take a second to update. Well, no, it's files right here. So, and that's 7 files right there. So that lets you know that that one file that we deleted is gone off of Google Drive. So like I said, it syncs, you know, so if you delete some up here, it'll delete it locally as well. So if we go down and close it, I mean, we can go down and close this, but no, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon as well as, you know, a Cash App. You can send me a couple coins to try to help out, you know, support the channel. And just to repeat, I do have a Patreon. So if you guys want to sign up for the Patreon, just to support the channel, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep things going, you know, around my full-time job, but I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, please leave comments down in the comment boxes below. And of course, keep it techie.